I've been thinking a lot about life lately, about who I am, where I belong, and what feels right and what absolutely doesn't. I realized that most of us are leading a life that is way too complicated, myself included. We have calendars filled with a million to-dos, we are on diets with a million different rules, and we have this spiderweb of moral code and people-pleasing. And it's never right, never enough. So we try to find yet another solution, yet another rule, yet another checkbox on the list. And it's never right, never enough. But what if you stopped? In the last month, that's exactly what I tried. I stopped. I let the carousel turn and I stayed on the side, willingly. And what surprised me is that I lost myself in the process. I spent my days waking up late, working, closing my laptop and watching something stupid on TV until I went to bed, only to do it all again the next day. It feels nice in the beginning, until it didn't. I felt empty, depressed, and useless. By slowing down and letting go and mainly just resting, I became detached from what makes me, me. I love making videos, I love sewing and creating and pottery and running and so much more. Connection with your true self is the most important, and losing that can be very unsettling. We as humans need inspiration, connection, and movement to thrive. It's a careful balancing act, not doing too much, not doing too little. A constant dance between a bore-out and a burnout. I have not found that balance yet, and honestly I'm not sure I ever will. But what I did learn is that we should stop expecting it to be a permanent balance. Life comes in seasons of highs and lows. Our motivation and energy will go up and down, and we need to learn how to ride the waves. Because the only certainty is that going against the tide is fucking exhausting. But if slowing down isn't the solution, then what is? Well, the last weeks weren't all bad, of course. Life never is. The time I spent in the French Alps trying relentlessly to finally get the hang of skiing down a mountain without eating snow taught me a lot about friendship. Finally, after longing for it for years, I felt like I belonged. Friendship is this really complicated thing that becomes even harder as you age. And as a neurodivergent person, I have struggled to make friends my whole life. Fitting in just doesn't come as easy to us. I had convinced myself that I was fine on my own. But friendship and connection are at the core foundation of true happiness. We are not meant to be alone. If we lack that connection, you not only miss out on joy, you get stuck in your own vision of the world. But not everything can come from other people, right? I strongly believe we need a purpose. Something that makes you feel useful, and for many of us, that's our job. I had some amazing experience in the past weeks that made me fall in love with my job again. But it also threw a bunch of questions my way as for what I want my career to look like in the future. I wanted to add a real part to this vlog. I went to some talks today for content creators and I'm going to an event later, and it made me realize that much more how much I love this creative industry and how much I want to tell stories. And this channel is all about goal setting and about getting your shit together and living your dreams. But I think what I often fail to acknowledge and what I fail to tell people is that it isn't always easy. And figuring out the path from where you are now to where you want to go can often be the hardest part of bringing your dreams to life. Because right now, I very much know where I want to go. I very much know where I am. But getting there is ridiculously hard. I feel like a huge hypocrite sometimes for just telling people to figure out the path from A to B and start walking it. Because yes, that's exactly what you should do. But walking that path is is the easy part. Finding the path can be incredibly hard. And that doesn't mean that we should not do it. We really, really should. But I just wanted to let you know that I struggle with it too. And I think that is what I want to tell you with this channel, is that it is okay to struggle. That not all goals come easy, and for some people it might be a lot easier than for others, but that doesn't mean that we should not try. It's no secret on this channel that I am on a quest for freedom. Freedom from the 9 to 5, the rat race, and from tying my worth to my job. I don't think my meaning of life lies in my work. For some others it does, but for me it just doesn't fit. Work can make you feel useful, like you're giving back to the world. But in general, it takes more energy than it gives. So what is it that I am missing? Is it love? Is it travel? Maybe it's motherhood. And the longer I think about it, I think that will be a big part of my purpose when the time comes. But I hate to admit it, but I think that the meaning of life lies in something that I laughed at for ages. My fiancé used to claim it all the time, and I refused to accept it. But I have come to the realization that the meaning of life lies in joy. It's such a simple concept, yet it's so hard to achieve. Or is it? We often chase happiness in big things like holidays and achievements, but that alone is not enough to sustain us. What we need is joy, those little moments of magic in your day. If we can make something special out of everything we do, even the small things like your morning cup of coffee, I think life will feel a lot more like it's worth living. Life will probably always feel unfinished. Sometimes more, sometimes it will feel almost perfect. But all the things I mentioned before, the things important to me, they have two things in common. They bring joy and they can't be measured. We are made to believe that the things we are supposed to value are the things we can measure, like your salary, your age, your net worth, the amount of likes on your last post. But next time, when you are wondering if there's a point to it all, ask yourself if maybe the opposite is true.